Hey guys, welcome to Road Sign Emoji After Effects tutorial. My name is Martin and today we're going to create something like this. This is the original iPhone footage. And this is after we replace it with the animated emoji. If you want to follow along with the same video footage, I provided the working file for free in the description below. Alright, let's go! I will start with focusing on this technique that I use for the head turning. If you guys see, when the head shakes, it has a little bit of perspective there. And the other part will be this animation, the liquor control zone animation. And then after that, we will go into the tracking of this footage and put all of this emoji animation. Alright, let's go into the After Effects. I'm going to import the footage first. This is the footage that we're going to be using. Just drag into the project and drag it into a composition. Right, so we have this footage that we're going to be using. And now I will import my emoji first. So I can double click on this window, or you can Command I also, or Control I in PC to import. And I have this police emoji that I have exported out from Figma. And I have also the police hand. So I'm just going to import these two things. And I will also import the beer that we're going to be using, the alcohol emoji. So I'm going to import these two as well. And let's focus on the police first for now. I'm going to drag this police into a new composition. And it's now a bit too cramped here. So I will press Command K to open the composition settings, lock aspect ratio, and I will enlarge this to give more room. Maybe 700. And then I will bring in the hand and position it somewhere here. I will fix the anchor point because we will try to rotate this. If I press R for rotation, see if the anchor point is there. The rotation is not natural because the hand anchor point should be here. So I will use this tool. The shortcut is Y, anchor point tool, and just move it somewhere here. So when we rotate, it will become correct like this. Okay, so let's just place it here for now. So I want to animate the rotation and the scale. So I will hold Shift S. So now we have the rotation and the scale open. You can also find them here. Yeah, so again, I press S, Shift R. So I have both of these. First, I'm going to set a keyframe on the scale. Maybe we don't need this big actually, maybe just about this. And then maybe we start, this is maybe the end size. Let's press plus to zoom in on this timeline. And at the beginning, maybe it's like this size. So the police will be like, animate like this. This might be a bit too big. Okay, right. Like this. And then after a while, it will start rotating. Let's zoom in a little bit more so we can see. Let's move by increment of 5. Like this. And then go here, then maybe like that. And then here, Command C, Command V. So no. And then go back to original, Command C, Command V. Let's turn everything into easy ease. Press F9, or you can also right click on the keyframe, get keyframe assistance. You cannot see it now, but it's actually down there. Easy ease. And then let's see how the animation looks like. Yeah, after that, I think I wanted to go back to its original place. So click keyframe on the scale, and it will go back down, go back to original, Command C, Command V. Let's actually speed up this. and bring everything here. Yeah, I think that's not bad. So the police will say, hey, no, 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 hey, something like that. Okay, now let's make it a loop. So it will loop forever, because at the moment now, after that it will stop. In order to make a loop, let's set a keyframe on this rotation as well, here and then here. So what we're going to try to do is to loop this whole keyframe. So you can alt click on this stopwatch and type loop and get this one, loop out. Click outside, and on the scale as well, alt click, loop out, click outside. And now if I press minus to zoom out from this timeline, yeah, actually I don't want it to be immediately go out, so we want to set a extra keyframe here. Maybe until here. We will duplicate this one, Command C, Command V, and move this here. Actually can be even more. Yeah, something like that. Alright, we are done with the hand. Let's get into the head. I'm going to hide this hand first and separate the head from the body. So let's zoom in here. Get this tool, pen tool. The shortcut is G. And then just draw a little bit of mask here. That's the transparency here, so we don't need to be very precise on the head. We only want to crop this part. So something like this. So this is the head. Let's name it. Press enter to name head. Maybe this one is the hand. Let's duplicate this head. Command D or Control D on PC. And name this body. Let's invert the mask. Press M. Change it to subtract. And now we have the body and the head. Let's turn this to, press F for the feathering at 0.5, so it's not that sharp. 0.5. Okay, and then put the head a little bit down so we don't have a gap. Alright, now let's change the anchor point of this head. At the moment, if we rotate this, press R, it's rotating from, not from the neck, so we need to move the anchor point as well. Use the same tool, this one, anchor point tool, Y, the shortcut is Y. Move it down here, somewhere there, and we can, actually we don't really want to use this rotation, but it's always good practice to just correct the anchor point there. So what we really want to do is actually to make her like shaking from left to right, and we're going to use one effect called mass warp. So you can select this head, go to effect, distort, and mass warp. By default it will give us this a lot of grid. How mass warp works is you can animate at each of these points, and that is what we are going to use to cheat the face turning. So first of all, I want to reduce the column, the number of rows. We don't really need that much. I think we only need about 1. And the column, let's reduce that as well. I think maybe this is good enough. So 2 representation of the eyes. Let's see whether it works. So let's set a distortion mask keyframe here. And then press U to open the keyframe that we have set. And also we want to open U on the hand, so we know roughly where the keyframe should be, the speed. So we want also to start shaking here at the same time where the hand start moving, rotating. Okay, let's move forward to this keyframe, and then let's turn to the right first. I will drag this to the right maybe not too much, just a little bit, something like that. So if you see, yeah, and let's move this one as well, the top and the bottom. So it's something like that. And then here we want to move to the opposite direction. Oops. We shouldn't move too much of this one actually, because it will reveal the intersection. So I think here also we want to avoid to move this part too much. But the other part I think can be quite a lot. Okay, let's try to duplicate this, Command C, Command V. And here it will be back to original state, Command C, Command V. And change them to easy ease. Let's see how it looks like. Yep, I think it's something like that. But let's see, I think this is a bit too much. Yeah, you see this one is, it's not great. So let's go back to the head and refine the mesh warp. I think we might need to animate this as well. Yeah, if you move it too much, sometimes the distortion will be a bit not believable. So need to be quite careful with your animation. Let's see. I don't think we should move this. Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea. So let's move this back, because the head start to become distorted, which means that we shouldn't move this too much. Okay, Command C, Command V. Okay, let's see how it looks like. Yep, you can spend time to refine this animation until you get the best result. But that's basically the whole technique of this one. Let's turn on our hand and see how it looks like together. Yeah, I think there's a bit of wobbly there. But yeah, you can try to do your best to refine that. Okay, now let's put the police here. First of all, let's track our footage. Zoom in a little bit and give some space. I'm going to use tracker. If you don't see this window, you can go to window and then tracker. And I'm going to use the track motion. I want to track position and rotation. So it will give me these 2 points for me to track. And my goal is to replace this area and this area. So I'm going to put the 2 tracking points. One is somewhere up here and the other one is somewhere down here. So we can track both. If you just put these 2 points somewhere here, it will only quite accurate to this area. So we want to set it at the right place. Maybe I just put here first for now. Enlarge this outer area. This outer area is the one that giving data, more data. So the more information you give it, the better. Something like this. Yeah, this pixel differentiation information is important for the tracking. Whoops, I think we missed it, this one. Yeah, so make sure this cross is here. And let's move the bottom one. I'm going to find this point, this differentiate. This point is quite distinctive from the other, so I will pick that one. And let's set something like this. All right, let's try to track this. Press this, analyze forward. Make sure your timeline indicator is at the beginning just now. If not, you just cancel this and undo it and then start again. And you need to observe whether it's running, that these two tracking points should always be tracking that area. I think it's doing a pretty okay job for now. Yep, actually we don't really need the whole duration. I just want to, let's trim it to 10 seconds. Press N here, right click, trim comb to work area. Yeah. Okay, so we have that tracking data. Let's create a null object. Right click here, null object, name this tracker info. We're going to transfer the information from here to this tracker info. So select on your footage, edit target, select tracker info, click OK, and apply to X and Y. Now this null object will inherit the tracking data. All right, let's bring in our police. Put here, press S for scale, make it smaller. Put somewhere here. Maybe rotate it a little bit. And then at the moment, the police is not following the footage. So we want to parent this to the tracking information just now. Just pick whip this to the tracker info, release. So click and drag and then release, then it will track this exact tracker info. So now this police will be sticking to the sign. Yeah, let's check whether it's keep on sticking until the end. Yep, I think it's pretty good. So yes, you got the sign here. Now we want to cover this stop sign. So let's turn off our police first and select this footage. And then we want to use the content aware fill. If you don't see this, this is the new feature from Adobe, content aware fill. What I want to do is just to set one style frame to cover this. How to do this is you select this footage and then you go to content aware fill and create reference frame. Click this, it will actually, it will ask you to save first. You can save it anywhere. Make sure you create a folder and then create a AE folder. This is your project folder and your AE folder, you can name it maybe police _01, save. And it will open Photoshop once you click create reference image. And you can go and zoom in here. Let's clean this using this tool, spot healing brush tool. You can use any of a patching tool that you know, but this is what I like best to patch something like this. It's pretty quick and the result usually is good enough. See, it's quite magical, right? Yep, it's pretty clean. In a lot of cases, this tool usually will do a good job. All right, that looks good. Let's patch this one as well. Yep, very clean. This is also, maybe I will erase this as well. This is up to you whether you want to maintain which information you want to patch and which one not. All right, I think that looks good enough. I will save this, Command S, and I will go back to After Effects. So here, After you've done that, if you save, you have to save in Photoshop. After you save, After Effects will give you this one frame of the image that you have patched. So we want to extend this to the whole duration. I will right click, go to time, enable time remapping, and then drag this to cover the whole duration. But then now this footage is not moving, you see, because this is a static frame that we bring from Photoshop. We want to use this to track, we want to track it to the tracker information just now. But let me mask it first. We don't need the whole image. I just want to cover just this area. So select on this, go to pen tool, and then just draw a mask, rough one. We can always adjust later. And then make sure it covers this stop symbol. Yeah, I can. If we go here, and also I want to cover this. So on the same footage, pen tool, let's draw a mask here. Alright, let's give a width of feather. So press F for feather. So it's not so sharp, the edges of this mask. I will add maybe like 5 pixels. And oops, yeah, at the moment it's not tracking. You see, it's not tracking to our footage. We just need to parent this into our tracker info. So make sure you parent on the very first frame time indicator here. Yeah, you see, I think now it's doing a pretty good job. Alright, I think it's patching really good. I think this one need to extend a little bit. I see a little bit of red down there. Okay, that looks good enough. Let's turn on back our police, put it on top of this, and let's fit this and see. Yep, now we have the emoji on top of this. It looks like not very blending in that well. This police is looking very sharp. So let's go to opacity, press T, shortcut T for opacity. Just reduce this to about maybe 80 or maybe 75. So it looks like a little bit more blending in to the background. Okay, let's save it. Let's play it. I think that looks good. So the next is to animate the beer symbol. Let's see how it looks like on the final output. So there will cheers, and then there will be animation of this coming in, and then do a scratching. If you already know how to do this, then the tutorial actually just ended here. But if not, yes, you can just follow along. Alright, let's go back to After Effects. And let's drag our beer into a composition. And bring in this one here. Okay, I'm just gonna match this to the back. So, and I want to change the anchor point. So press Y for anchor point tool and change it here. This is to imagine if you put your hand here and you do a animation rotation, you will animate from there, right? So we need to always know where to put our anchor point from. Okay, press V back to this selection tool and press S for scale. I will just roughly match it. It's not perfectly the same beer, but I think we can get away with this. Yeah, something like this. Actually, I think I will just put it here later. And on this one, I want to crop just this. Let's turn off the top beer first. I want to remove this one. So press G for pen tool and Command plus to zoom in. I want to just mask out this beer here. Holding Alt to change the trajectory of this path. Then just do that. So we're just selecting one of our beer here. Okay, so we got this one. Let's give it a feather a little bit, maybe 0.5 or maybe 1. And then let's change the anchor point. Press Y, move it here, and put this beer here. And now let's enlarge this composition size. Command K. And actually I want to, yeah, okay, let's enlarge it to also 700 maybe. Maybe we need more. I will unlock the aspect ratio and make it maybe like this. Well, let's do 900 by 700. Okay. Let's position them to the middle, somewhere here. So the whole animation is basically just based on position, P for position, and then Shift R for rotation. I only used these two parameters to animate the beer. Let's set our end position first, maybe somewhere here. Set position, and then shift it. The cling position is here. The beginning, maybe they are a bit off or from each other. They cling, and they move back. Command C, Command V, Command C, Command V. It's a bit too slow. Let's change them to easy ease. Press F9. And let's change the graph editor. Oh, I think we can do it later. Let's move it closer like this. Cling, cling. Let's set a rotation. Rotation. And maybe at the beginning it's like this. Command C, Command V, Command C, Command V. Change them to easy ease. And let's exaggerate the curve. Oops, let's select this, drag them, and select this, oops, these 2 points and drag them. So it will be like, yeah, something like that. Alright, you can of course spend time to make it more natural, but basically I just use position and rotation for my animation. Actually my curve a little bit different when I did it first time. It's more like there's a curve to this position. Well, we can try to, let's see whether we can do it. Let's tweak this handle, something like that, and maybe this one as well. It's not a must, but this is all just to improve the delightness of the movement. You can even hover this a while first before clinking again. Yep, I will set a keyframe here. There's a bit of jerk there. Let's turn it into a hold command or control and click, and it will turn it back to linear. And this position, you need to select both keyframe, right click, keyframe interpolation. You maybe cannot see here, but it's down there, keyframe interpolation, and change it to linear. And this one as well, right click, keyframe interpolation, change it to linear, click OK, and change this back to F9. Yeah, something like that, and change this to F9. And then now we can loop this as well. Alt click on the stopwatch, loop out, copy this, Command C, Alt click here, Command V, Alt click here, Command V, Alt click here, Command V. So everything will be looped. Yep. Okay, let's close these two. All right, the beer part is done. So let's go out here and bring in that beer as well. Bring in here, scale down to about that size. Maybe it's too big. Maybe it's about this size. Let's rotate it. And we need to also parent this to the tracker information. So now it will be following. All right, now it's real time. Yeah, so we have the beer animation. Again, you can also reduce the opacity of this to maybe about 75. So it's blend in more. And then now we want to create the sign, the scratching sign. I will just draw a using pen tool and no fill here, set no fill, and just set a stroke with the color of pick to this color maybe, or slightly more red maybe. And this one we can adjust later, but I will start with stroke width of 10. And let's turn off all of this layer first. I want to reference to this. So select outside. Don't select anything. Click here. Zoom in here. Press G again for pen tool. And I want to draw like that. So I need to draw. I cannot use like circle tool because I want to do a continuous animation of the line going like circular and then scratch. So to do that, I need to create here and draw here. You don't need to worry too much about drawing a too perfect circle at the moment. We can always readjust later. And I will actually close this here, not exactly closing here, because I want to turn to do the stroke. So now to change direction, holding Alt, you see the cursor will change, and I can drag this down. And I will just draw here. And now I can go to this tool and readjust the positioning. Something like this. Okay, I can refine later again, but for now, let's turn back on all our coverage. And let's parent this shape layer that we just created to the tracking info as well. So now we have this. Let's rename this stroke. Press V. Bring it somewhere here. We can readjust position, and we can press S for scale, and we can enlarge this maybe to something like that. And let's reduce the stroke size, maybe something like this, and readjust the position to your taste, to the most perfect shape. Yep, I think the beer is too big. Let's press S and scale it down so it can fit. Yeah, something like that. All right, let's animate this stroke. Open this arrow, add a trim path. Maybe you don't see it here again, but there's a thing called trim path on that arrow menu, and it will add this trim path to your scene. We want to animate the end. You see, if I drag like this. Yeah, we want to animate like this. Yeah, so start from 0, set a keyframe. Go to maybe 15 frames. Use the command plus left or right arrow to go frame by frame. And maybe here set until about that 77. Make sure you start with 0. So go to 77. And then you will stay for a while. Actually, no, let's just do directly 200. Change them to F9, easy ease, and then make the curve extreme. Make it more extreme. Make it more extreme. So the animation will be like this. Yeah, there will be a personality once you adjust that curve. Yep, that's the essence of this stroke. Of course, you can always go back here, go to the path, click on the path and then readjust. Oops, hold shift and release and try to make it a better shape than what I did here. This is just a quick job to show you the technique, but yeah, let's check. Yep, that looks good. Something to note here is that I don't think this actually can loop. Actually, let's try. Let's try whether. I think maybe can. So I want it to be like this, and then. Oh, actually, let's do another stroke. It will animate out from here. Click here. After stay for a while, it will animate out like that. Oh, make sure this ending is 100%. Otherwise, you will see something there. Yeah, let's change this to F9 as well. Make the curve more exaggerated as well. Yeah, something like that. And let's trim this. Hold Alt or Option and close bracket. And this is our mark. And then somewhere here, maybe we duplicate this layer, Command D, and then just put a new one. So after this one is gone, the new line will come in. And then you just duplicate again to cover whole your duration. Yeah, maybe something like that. Command, save it. And then now we have this. Yeah, something like that. Alright, I think that's the whole tutorial. See, now we have replaced the boring normal sign with the emoji that is more fun, I guess. Right, if you want, let's just quickly render this out. Add to render queue. Click on this high quality, change it to S264. This is good enough, CBR 8 Mbps. Click OK. Just OK this. This is because iPhone give us a weird frame rate, but it will just round it to 25 per second. So just set OK, and if you have audio, you can just leave it there. Click OK and set where you want to save it. I'm just gonna call it police _01, save, then click render. And let's check our render. Go to output and police. And there you go. Your animation is completed. Alright, thank you for sticking till the end. If you find this tutorial useful, consider like and subscribe. If you need, I also provided the link to the video file and the artifact file for free in the description. Okay, see you next time. Bye.